The afternoon sun, reflected off the glass, cast a soft glow on the neatly arranged desk. Miss Lena was intently reviewing a quote from a Japanese partner when her phone vibrated. Her beloved son's name appeared on the screen. She paused, pressed the answer button, maintaining her calm demeanor. "Hello, Mom's listening. Mom, are you working?" Her son's cheerful voice asked. "Yes, I'm at the office." "Aren't you in school at this hour? I finished early today." "I just missed you so much, so I called." "Mom, are you sleeping well these days?" Miss Lena smiled. "I'm fine, dear. I'm busy during the day, so I sleep quite easily. How about you? Are you studying and eating properly over there?" "Yes, I'm doing well, Mom. It's colder here now." "It must still be hot where you are, right?" "Saigon hasn't cooled down yet. I'm still going to work regularly. The company has a few new contracts running. Stay warm, okay? I think you've lost weight lately." "Oh, come on, Mom. You're looking at old photos, aren't you?" "I'm still the same. And Mom, don't work too much, okay? Take care of your health and your beauty. I know. Just focus on your studies. And when winter break comes, come home and visit me, all right?" "Yes, I plan to." "Well, I'll let you get back to work. I just called for a bit because I missed you. Take care of yourself, Mom." "All right, my dear. Take care over there. Call me if anything happens." She ended the call and placed the phone on the desk. Her eyes softened slightly, but quickly became pensive. She slowly lifted a hand to her cheek, tracing it as if assessing how much time had ravaged her face. Miss Lena, in her early 50s, was a sharp and passionate woman, famous for her beauty in her youth. Her elegant and noble features, though faded with time, still shone through her sophisticated aura and sharp gaze. Currently, she was the CEO of Lantuan Company, an enterprise specializing in importing and exporting high-end consumer goods, with its main office in Saigon. Having entered her 50s, Miss Lena always considered her beauty to be the most precious asset of her life. Power could be bought with money, but beauty, especially the beauty of a middle-aged woman, was what truly commanded attention and admiration. From high-end skincare products to advanced rejuvenation treatments, internal detoxes at 5-star resorts, wherever there was a new beauty method, Miss Lena would seek it out, sparing no expense or pain. She maintained smooth, taut skin, a slender figure, and a flawless face. Her private secretary was always updated on the latest beauty technologies from Korea, Japan, and Europe. If she heard of a renowned doctor or a spa with cutting-edge technology, Miss Lena would immediately book an appointment, whether it was domestic or international. There was a time she flew to Singapore for a pricey stem cell therapy that lasted less than 3 hours, then immediately returned to attend a shareholders' meeting the next morning. The clock struck 5 p.m. The late afternoon sun streamed through the high-rise window, casting a faint golden hue on Miss Lena's business suit. After finishing the last document of the day, she stood up, adjusted her hair in the mirror, then quickly picked up her designer handbag and left the office. Her sleek black car glided out of the basement parking, joining the rush hour traffic. Miss Lena sat behind the wheel, occasionally glancing at her rearview mirror. Not to check traffic, but to ensure her reflection remained perfect. Today, she didn't linger at the office as usual, nor did she stop by the aesthetics clinic as initially planned. She wanted to go home early to prepare dinner for her husband, Mr. Lucas, who had just called to say he was on his way back from Bin Thuan after a short business trip. Although they had a housekeeper to handle kitchen duties, Miss Lena still wanted to personally cook on such occasions. It wasn't because of a passionate love for her husband, but rather a vague sense of unease creeping into her heart. She feared he would grow tired of her, feared he would seek out someone younger and more beautiful, like countless mundane stories she heard in their elite social circles. The car turned into a luxurious alley where the couple's villa was located. Before entering the house, she quickly spritzed on a layer of expensive perfume, reapplied lipstick, and put on her familiar gentle smile. Later that evening, the sound of the gate opening echoed through the house. Miss in the deal. Hello. Lena had just finished arranging the braised fish and minced meat. The aroma of hot soup, sour soup, and stir-fried vegetables filled the cozy kitchen. She adjusted her hair, untied her apron, and quickly walked out to the living room. Ms. Wang says, Lena smiled. You're home just in time. I just finished cooking. Let's eat while it's hot. Mr. Lucas walked in, casually dusting off his suit. Perfect timing. I am so tired. Driving all the way from Bin Thuan and getting stuck in traffic on the highway. What did you cook that smells so good? I cooked all your favorite dishes. See, it looks delicious, doesn't it? They sat at the table. Nesta. Lucas ate heartily, chatting between bites. Anything new at the company these days? Did any partners give you a hard time while I was away? Nothing significant. My team and I handled everything well. Don't worry. The Japanese partner has already sent back the revised contract. We just need to review it tomorrow. That's good. You're doing a great job. Mr. Lucas paused for a few seconds. His eyes narrowed as if noticing something. Lena, it looks like you have a few freckles now, and crow's feet are starting to show around your eyes. Miss Lena flinched for a split second. Oh, it must be because I haven't been sleeping enough and have been working too much these past few days. I need to pay more attention to that. Women's beauty fades so quickly. It's not like we're as young as we used to be. Lena didn't reply, just offered a faint smile and looked down at her rice bowl. In her heart, each of her husband's words felt like sharp, twisting knives. She remembered her son's call that afternoon, her gaze into the rearview mirror on the drive home, and the aesthetic doctor's advice that to maintain taut, blemish-free skin, she would need stronger, more expensive treatments. The soft yellow light in the dining room couldn't hide the sadness slowly rising in the eyes of the woman who was once a beauty queen. Late at night, the clock showed 11 p.m. The spacious room was plunged into darkness. Mr. Lucas was sound asleep. Mr. Lucas was sound asleep. Miss Lena lay on her side, her back to her husband. In the dim light, her eyes were wide open, heavy with restless thoughts. Mr. Lucas's words at dinner were like a tiny thorn pricking her pride. She blinked, took a deep breath. then silently reached for her phone under her pillow, unlocking it and beginning her search. Non-surgical rejuvenation methods. A flurry of articles appeared. Stem cell injections, PRP therapy, platelet-rich plasma, ABC collagen supplements, Japanese detox diets for internal organs. Miss All. Lena's eyes lit up with a glimmer of hope, but also hesitation. She slowly scrolled through the lines, absorbing the alluring invitations. Rejuvenate skin from within. Look 10 years younger after just one non-surgical pain-free treatment. The secret to beauty for the elite. Lena clicked on a website with a sophisticated interface. An aesthetics clinic in District 1 was promoting an internal rejuvenation treatment using natural hormones extracted from embryonic cells, a secret technology reserved for VIP clients. Miss Lena thought to herself, from within as I wanted, no surgery needed. But is it really effective? And dangerous? She continued, scrolling, and suddenly stopped at a comment. My sister and I tried this method. Our skin is as taut as a 20-year-old's. My husband is obsessed. A jolt of excitement ran through her heart. She saved the address, planning to call and inquire about the cost and book a consultation when she had a moment. She placed her phone beside her pillow and turned to look at Mr. Lucas. The man who once adored her was now sleeping soundly, completely unaware of her internal struggle with the anxieties of aging. The next morning, on the way to the office, Saigon's sky was bright blue, the sunlight filtering through the trees along the road. The sleek black car moved through familiar streets. Inside, Mr. Lucas sat in the passenger seat, checking emails on his phone, occasionally discussing work. Miss Lena drove, occasionally nodding in gentle agreement. At a red light, the car stopped at a bustling intersection. Just then, a young woman on a large displacement motorbike pulled up next to the window. The girl wore a helmet, her hair tied high, a short crop top clinging to her slender waist, revealing smooth, white skin. Her eyes were painted deep rose pink, giving her a pouty look. Without a word, the girl adjusted her helmet, her gaze fixed forward. But Miss Lena didn't need to look directly to know that Mr. Lucas was watching her. The man's eyes silently lingered on the skin, hair, and figure of the unfamiliar girl. His gaze couldn't hide his admiration and longing. Miss Lena gently placed her left hand on the steering wheel, coughed softly, but kept her eyes straight ahead. Mr. Lucas started, turning back. Who's beautiful? The girl in the crop top. Slender white skin, very young. Oh, you just saw her like that. It's nothing. There are plenty of girls like that on the street. He hesitated, then continued, You're overthinking it. Miss Lena replied, I'm not overthinking anything. I was just making a casual comment. The atmosphere in the car grew heavy. The light turned green, and Miss Lena pressed the accelerator. The car slowly rolled forward. Neither spoke. The car continued past high-rise buildings, bathed in morning light, carrying two people who once loved each other passionately, now sitting side by side, each chasing a fading youth. At the Lan Tuan Company building, the sleek black car pulled up to the main gate as usual. Mr. Lucas and Miss Lena stepped out, exuding an air of authority and power. Employees bowed their heads in greeting. Security guards quickly opened the gate to the elevator area. They walked side by side. Mr. Lucas carried himself with the confident demeanor of a board chairman. "Old, Miss Weil? Yes." Lena, after her forced smile in the car, also tried to maintain a calm and composed expression. At the elevator, Mr. Lucas stepped in first. "I'll take the coffee up later. Coffee to wake up. Then work. Right? Yes, you go up first." The elevator doors closed, taking Mr. Lucas up to his chairman's office. Miss Lena turned and walked towards the coffee area in the corner, partially obscured by an elegant decorative wall of wood and glass. In front of it, a young receptionist, who had been working for only a few weeks, was diligently checking the guest log. Assuming both Mr. Lucas and Miss Lena had gone upstairs, the receptionists began to whisper, "Hey, look at our CEO, May. 50 years old, and still so charming, so elegant." Yeah, on my first day, I thought he was 40, not more. But the other girl lowered her voice. I He looks clearly old, and she looks more like his mother than his wife, May chuckled. Seriously, she looks so faded compared to him, doesn't she? It wouldn't be surprising if he had affairs with younger girls. Don't say that. She must be really stressed. Behind the wall, Miss Lena, who was about to order coffee, stopped short. Her eyes flashed with anger, mixed with humiliation. Her facial muscles, though trying to hold back, trembled with fury. Those words felt like needles piercing her pride. "Miss," Lena muttered to herself, "you're still young, just waiting to be cleaned out like that old market stall." She adjusted her hair, took a deep breath to compose herself, then picked up her coffee and walked out of the brewing area with firm steps. Neither of the two girls knew that the old woman had heard everything. She entered the elevator, her lips pressed into a thin line, marching straight ahead. But inside her head, a fire smoldered. Not long after, an urgent message from the CEO's office was sent to the company-wide group chat. All new employees hired within the last 3 months, including receptionists, sales, accounting, and marketing staff, are to gather in meeting room A on the 5th floor at 12:30 p.m. on the wall. CEO Ms. Lena has called an urgent meeting. No one knew what had happened. It wasn't lunchtime yet. Some employees hadn't even finished their instant noodles. Others were planning to grab a few minutes of sleep. Now, they had to rush to the meeting floor. In the elevator, 8 people stood crowded. No one speaking loudly, but the whispers were incessant. Tuan Lin, a 26-year-old sales employee, murmured, "What did we do wrong, May? This kind of urgent summons is very unusual." Lin, a 24-year-old accounting employee, said, "I've only been here for just over a month. I've switched departments multiple times. Is it always this intense for meetings now?" May, the receptionist in her cream uniform, her face pale, asked, "Oh, no one knows the reason. Did someone get fired?" Heather, the receptionist, shot May a sympathetic glance. "Or did someone speak too loudly this morning and someone overheard?" May flinched. "No, it couldn't be. And it's probably not that anyway." Tuan Lin looked at the two girls. "What's wrong with you two? Why are you so worried? Is something up? May quickly covered up. Nothing, Brother Tuan Lin. We're probably just being paranoid. Lin sighed. But calling all new employees, that's strange. Is the company planning to cut staff? Tuan Lin immediately said, "No way. The company is expanding. It doesn't look like anything but someone being caught for something, and now they're calling a collective meeting to scold them." May now look tearful. "Oh no, I just applied for a company credit card. Please don't fire me." Lin tried to joke, "Whatever the meeting is about, just don't call out my name and ask me to leave." The group fell silent for a few seconds. The atmosphere in the elevator became thick with pressure. The elevator doors opened on the 5th floor. Everyone silently stepped out, an unusually serious look on their faces. From Tuan Lin to the others, they walked towards meeting room A, as if entering an exam hall. No one dared to speak. No one knew that Miss Lena was sitting in her office, looking at the internal camera feed, observing each person's nervous steps into the meeting room. A fleeting smile played on her lips, not one of joy, but the first sign of an approaching storm. All the new employees settled down in the meeting room around the long table covered with a white tablecloth. No one uttered a word. The ticking of the clock was clearly audible. Each person tried to appear calm, but their eyes furtively scanned each other, full of apprehension. Everyone guessed it wouldn't be good news. Miss Lena entered, her demeanor composed, but her eyes were cold as ice. She wore a sophisticated dark blue silk blouse, paired with a pencil skirt and black high heels. In her hand, she held a cup of unsweetened black coffee. No one dared to breathe heavily. She looked at no one, simply placed her coffee cup down, and spoke in a low, deep voice, sharp as a knife. "The reason for this unusual meeting today is to announce the termination of contracts for 2 new employees due to slandering a superior during working hours." The entire room fell silent, stunned. Some gasped. Others turned to look at each other in bewilderment. No one expected such a direct and explicit accusation. Miss Lena continued, her expression unwavering. "The company's employment contract clearly states that any act of defamation, false accusations, or negative speech towards superiors or colleagues within the workplace environment, if discovered, will result in immediate termination of the contract without prior notice or compensation." Heather felt her heart pound. She clenched her hands, eyes cast downwards. May's face was ashen, her mind racing. Miss Lena's words echoed in her chest. Could she really have heard us? Tuan Lin turned to look at the 2 receptionists, his eyes full of suspicion, but said nothing. The oppressive atmosphere permeated the entire room. Miss Lena tapped her finger lightly on the table, speaking slowly. "I will not name names at this moment, because I want to hear if anyone has anything to say before I announce the official decision." The room fell silent. No hand was raised. The crowded room was as quiet as a tomb. May and Heather felt their stomachs churning. Their eyes met, filled with terror. A cold shiver ran down their spines. Miss Lena's voice was filled with authority. "I want to hear if anyone has anything to say before I announce the official decision." She paused for a few seconds, her gaze sweeping across each face. No one dared to breathe heavily, much less find the courage to speak up. She gave a faint smirk, her voice icy and clear. "All right then, I'll say it. My entrinde you. You two are the ones who slandered your superior at the reception desk this morning. The entire room erupted in surprise. A few people turned to stare at May and Heather. The rest were frozen, not daring to move. May and Heather's faces turned chalk white, as if all the blood had drained from them. They stammered. Excuse me? I didn't. Miss Lena cut them off, her voice sharp as a blade. No need to explain. I heard every word at the coffee brewing area, right behind the wall. You two were casually chatting, thinking no one was listening. I just gave you 2 opportunities to confess, but since you didn't dare, so be it. May hung her head, her lips trembling, looking like she wanted to cry, but trying to hold back, clutching her uniform. Miss Lena continued, without a hint of emotion. Immediately after this meeting, report to Human Resources to receive your termination letters. After that, pack your personal belongings and leave the company immediately. This company is not a place for idle gossip. A chilling silence stretched for 30 seconds. The room was as cold as a stone cellar. At 1 p.m., May and Heather walked silently, clutching their termination letters, their eyes red, not daring to say a word. May glanced at the reception desk where she had confidently laughed and chatted that morning, now a cold, alien place. Heather suddenly realized she should have kept her mouth shut. After the meeting concluded, Miss Lena walked back to the CEO's office with determined steps. The door closed behind her. She gently leaned back into the CEO's chair, closed her eyes for a few seconds, then let out a soft sigh. Her face showed clear satisfaction, but within that satisfaction was a quiet emptiness. Mr. Lizard, Lena murmured to herself. They look at me like an old aunt. No, this can't go on. Her eyes gradually became resolute, as if a new surge of energy had just ignited within her. She pulled her iPhone from the desk drawer, her fingers quickly navigating to a screenshot folder. She stopped at an image displaying a pale pink interface with the logo of Horrifying Aesthetics Clinic. The prominent headline read, Endogenous Rejuvenation Treatment with Imported New Zealand Fetal Placenta. Maintain youthful beauty in just 7 days. She tapped the image to clearly see the phone number in the bottom corner. Without hesitation, she pressed the call button. The ringing tone echoed in the dim silence of the office. After 3 rings, a woman's voice answered from the other end. It was the sweet, professional voice of the clinic receptionist. Hello, Hoa, Andau, Aesthetics Clinic. How may I help you? This is Trina. Miss Lena's voice was slow and composed. This is Lena, CEO of Lan Chuan Company. I looked at your clinic's website last night. I would like a private consultation about your imported placenta rejuvenation treatment. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end. Then Trina's voice became more respectful. Ah, yes, thank you, Miss Lena, for trusting us. This treatment is our clinic's most premium option. It applies an endogenous rejuvenation method using fresh, whole fetal placenta imported directly from New Zealand. We guarantee no surgery, no incisions, no pain whatsoever. It's suitable for women of any age. This program is especially good for women 35 and older, particularly those showing significant signs of aging. Currently, our clinic only accepts VIP clients to ensure absolute effectiveness and privacy. Would you like me to arrange an appointment with our specialist doctor this afternoon or tomorrow morning, whichever is convenient for you? Miss Lena thought for a few seconds. I'm busy this afternoon. How about 9 a.m. tomorrow? Please send the detailed address via Zalo to this number. Yes, ma'am. I have saved your number, Miss Lena Dotti. I will send you the clinic information map and prepare your treatment file immediately. Thank you for choosing us, Miss Dot. Lena dot dot. The call ended. Miss Lena placed the phone back on the desk. Her eyes now held no trace of the sadness from last night, but instead gleamed with intense anticipation. The next morning at 8:55 a.m., the OR and Dow Aesthetics Clinic, nestled in a quiet villa in District 7, Saigon, looked inconspicuous from the outside. But as Miss Lena's car pulled up to the black wrought iron gate, adorned with pale pink bougainvillea, her eyes sparkled with a hint of curiosity. On a small sign next to the door, it read, Hoang Dao High-End Endogenous Aesthetics. Rebirth from within. Not waiting for time to catch up, the gate opened. She stepped out and entered the reception hall. A tall man in a white lab coat with neatly slicked back hair stepped forward to greet her. Welcome, Ms. Lena. I am Leo, CEO and lead treatment specialist at Hoa Andao. We've been expecting you. He extended his hand in a polite welcome. Ms. Show. Lena shook his hand, her eyes assessing and scrutinizing. I'm on time, aren't I? A few minutes early, actually. The style of successful people. Please come in, Miss Lena. We have prepared a private consultation room for you, Ms. Lena followed Mr. Leo down a long corridor with wooden floors adorned with paintings of ancient Japanese women with melancholic expressions. The lighting was soft, and the faint scent of lavender essential oil drifted through the air. They stopped at a heavy wooden door with carved handcrafted patterns. Mr. Castle. Leo opened the door, revealing a room decorated in Indo-Chinese style. A tea table, velvet upholstered chairs, soft, warm lighting, and gentle, almost imperceptible Japanese music played. Mr. Leo said, before we proceed, Ms. Lena, I want to ask you one thing. Are you here to reclaim your youth or to reclaim your husband? Ms. Lena paused, surprised, then gave a faint smile. Perhaps both. Mr. Leo nodded, his eyes darkening slightly. Then you have come to the right place. Here, we don't just erase wrinkles. We help women revive and reclaim the youth they've lost. Ms. Lena immediately said, I don't want surgery. I just want to maintain my features, but look more beautiful, fresher, like I used to. Mr. Leo smiled subtly, pouring her tea. In that case, our original embryonic placenta treatment, a special line exclusively for VIP clients, is the most suitable choice. After the consultation, Mr. Leo personally led Miss Lena to a treatment room deep inside the aesthetics clinic. As the door opened, a strange smell filled the room. It wasn't like essential oils, but rather a fresh, earthy scent, like something preserved for a long time. mixed with the faint aroma of raw meat and blood. The pungent, yet subtly fresh smell made Miss Lena frown. Though the room was soundproofed with soft, warm yellow lighting. The same gentle Japanese wave music played, but even more subdued. In the center of the room was a treatment bed covered with pristine white sheets. On either side were modern devices, covered and concealed, their functions unclear. A young staff member in a neat white uniform stood waiting. Mr. Leo now spoke softly. Miss Lena, please lie down and relax. I will personally perform the first treatment for you. Today is a very important start, determining your body's absorption for the future. Miss Lena lay down, her eyes alert. Is it an injection? No injection. No surgery. We use a pure fetal placenta mask extracted from specially selected young embryonic cells in New Zealand. We only get one batch each week. The staff member stepped forward, carrying a covered tray. Beneath the cover was a small glass jar. Inside was something thick and gooey, yellowish white, like fermented egg whites, shimmering and glistening under the light. The staff member bowed and handed the jar to Mr. Leo. It's just been prepared, Doctor. Mr. Leo took the mask. A strong, earthy smell, mixed with a hint of sweetness, emanated from it. He said nothing, just quietly used a wooden stick to scoop out layers onto his palm, then began applying it to Miss Lena's face. Miss Lena shivered. My goodness, this smells like rotten fish. Mr. Leo spoke softly. It's the original scent, Miss Lena died. No fragrance, no chemicals. It's the remaining life force in this placenta that stimulates miraculous cell regeneration. You only need to endure the smell for a few minutes to gain back years of youth. Oh, the viscous liquid was applied thickly to Miss Lena's face, starting from her forehead, cheeks, chin, and around her eyes. At first, it felt icy cold, then slightly warm, then a tingling sensation like tiny needles under her skin. Miss Lena closed her eyes tightly, feeling an itchiness like ants crawling on her skin. It's the stem cells touching the aged areas, Miss Lena. Please try to relax. We will begin playing meditation music. The lights dimmed, and the room was plunged into silence. But deep within her skin, Miss Lena felt something strange, something creeping across her face, as if every blood vessel, every cell, was being stirred. When the first treatment session, lasting nearly an hour, concluded, Miss Lena emerged refreshed and transformed. At the reception desk, an employee had placed a bill in a black leather clip. Here is the bill for today's treatment. Total 38 million. Since you chose the premium pure placenta type, the cost is a bit higher. If you book a long-term treatment plan, it will be a bit more economical. Miss Lena frowned. Money is not an issue. I just want to be beautiful, youthful, and recapture my husband's gaze. She pulled out her black card and handed it over for payment. I will book my next appointment. Upon returning home for dinner, Miss Lena went up to her room early. Mr. Lucas was still watching the business news. She looked at herself in the mirror under the yellow light. Her skin clearly showed a difference. Smooth, radiant and strangely taut. She smiled, a sense of indescribable satisfaction swelling within her. Mr. Lucas's casual comment a few days ago seemed to be overshadowed by her skin's rebirth. When sunlight filtered through the curtains, Miss Lena woke up. She rushed into the bathroom, flicked on the bright light, and turned to face the mirror. Her skin was radiant, blemishes faded, supple as if covered in dew. I can't believe it. It actually worked, she thought excitedly. Over the next few days, Lantuan Company unexpectedly ran into trouble with a Korean partner. 2 shipments were held up at the port, and the order processing system crashed, causing customer complaints to pour in. Miss Lena was swept into a whirlwind of work from morning till night. Meeting followed meeting. For the entire week that followed, she couldn't make it to Ho and Dao Aesthetics Clinic. Every time she tried to book an appointment, something more urgent came up. Every evening, she tried to use her usual serums and nourishing masks. But by the 4th day after her first treatment, she was horrified when she looked in the mirror. What is this? Her face had darkened. The area around her eyes was sunken. Not only had it lost its tautness, but many more wrinkles had appeared. Miss Lena's face was ashen, her hands trembling as she touched her skin. Her skin felt rough, peeling lightly in patches, as if the aging process had been compressed and accelerated. She immediately called the aesthetics clinic, her voice laced with panic. I need to reschedule for today. It has to be today. The staff on the other end replied, Madam, this week is fully booked. If you want to jump the queue, you'll have to pay double the expedited fee. Only then can we arrange something immediately. Later that day, Miss Lena arrived at Hoa An Dao Aesthetics Clinic, her face clearly showing worry. She walked into the private consultation room, her voice anxious. I want to ask if there's a way to maintain this without having to come for a mask every day. My work is very busy. Sometimes I want to come, but can't. And after a few days of not wearing the mask, my face, it's aging out of control. Mr. Leo observed her face, then lowered his voice, looking at her with piercing eyes. I have a method, but very few people know about it. It's been researched for just over a year, and I've only tried it on myself, but it's been highly effective. What method? Injections. Oral, non-surgical, non-invasive. It's about activating cell regeneration from within. A single treatment, effective for up to 10 years. Within the first 2 weeks, the treatment shows results in skin, hair, voice, and even life energy, making you look like you're 30 again. Miss Lena held her breath for a moment. Mr. Lucas's words a few days ago, his gaze at the young girl next to the motorbike, and the gossip of the 2 receptionists all flashed through her mind. Miss Lena still hesitated, her eyes filled with suspicion. Mr. Leo smiled. Look at me, Miss Lena. Guess my age. Miss Lena was surprised, but also quickly scanned him. His skin was smooth, without a single wrinkle, his black hair neatly combed, even a youthful sheen to it. His figure was slim, shoulders straight, eyes sharp. Oh, perhaps around 40. I'm 60. Do you believe it? No, you're joking. That's impossible. But you don't look a day over 40, even younger than many 30-somethings. Mr. Leo didn't say another word. He bent down, opened a desk drawer, and took out a black leather wallet. From it, he pulled out an ID card. The photo was still clear. It was unmistakably Mr. Leo. He handed it to Miss Lena. Take a good look, Miss Lena. Miss Lena took it, her eyes wide, heart pounding. It was true. Just as he said, he was indeed 60. You see, I was the first person to try this method exactly 14 months ago. And since then, no more masks, no more serums, no more dieting or yoga. He looked at her slowly, as if presenting a divine gift. I can help you. But in return, you must trust me and keep it an absolute secret. No one, not even your husband. The space seemed to fall silent. All outside sounds seemed to vanish. In Miss Lena's head, only the pounding of her heart could be heard. She gently placed the ID card on the table, took a breath, then looked up at Mr. Leo, her eyes wide. What is this method, after all? How did you manage to look so young in just over a year? No surgery, no cosmetics, and you still maintain your figure and spirit. Mr. Leo smiled mysteriously. He didn't answer immediately, but motioned for her to follow him. If you truly want to know, I will show you. But this cannot be known by anyone else, not a single soul, not even your husband. Miss Lena nodded, her heart racing. Mr. Leo led her round to the back of the aesthetics clinic, to a small door hidden behind a mirror. Behind the mirror was a spiral staircase leading underground. The space gradually became dark. Eventually, a small, quaint kitchen appeared before her eyes in the basement. The warm yellow lights were dim, but everything looked meticulously clean. On the shelves were ceramic jars, wooden cutting boards, kitchen knives, and glass jars filled with dark brown liquid. A faint, earthy scent, mixed with the smell of raw meat, drifted through the air. Mr. Leo pulled out a chair for Miss Lena in front of the only long wooden table. Please sit here and wait a moment. I will prepare something for you to try. Without asking any further questions, Miss Lena silently sat down. Mr. Leo went to the back area and began rummaging and cooking. The sound of a knife chopping, the crackling of fire, and the aroma of cooking oil filled the air. 15 minutes later, Mr. Leo returned with a steaming hot bowl of soup. The aroma that rose from it was unlike any dish Miss Lena had ever encountered. It had a delicate sweetness and the earthy, slightly pungent scent of medicinal herbs. In the thick soup were pieces of thao mushrooms, which Miss Lena knew were incredibly expensive. The orange-yellow mushrooms floated amidst the rich, golden-brown liquid. Beneath were red dates and goji berries, ingredients commonly found in beauty-enhancing soups. And then, about 8 or 9 pieces of neatly diced meat. He placed the bowl of soup in front of Miss Lena, his eyes gleaming as if he had just presented a precious elixir. This is my secret. 1 bowl a week. No need for lipstick, no need for surgery. It works from within, rejuvenating your entire body, skin, hair, internal organs, and even your life energy. In your case, you'll see a clear difference in just 1 week. Miss Lena looked at the steaming bowl of soup. In her heart, a mixture of anticipation, curiosity, and vague fear swirled. She softly asked, "What kind of soup is this?" "Taste it, then I'll tell you. If you truly want to be young again, eat." For some reason, his voice held a magical power. Without further hesitation, she picked up the spoon and took the first piece. The thick liquid rolled on her tongue, carrying a deep sweetness, a subtle richness, and a fragrant aroma. The more she ate, the more she felt her body warming from within. In less than 5 minutes, the bowl was completely clean, leaving only a few red date slices at the bottom. Miss Lena licked her lips, still craving more. "It's really delicious. Can I have another bowl?" Mr. Leo chuckled, placing his hand on the table. "I know you like it very much. But before you eat more, I think you should know what it is." "What?" "Well, what kind of meat is it?" "Human flesh." The air seemed to freeze. The air seemed to freeze. Miss L. Lena went still, her breathing heavy. Her hands trembled, the spoon clattering to the floor. Her face turned pale green, her stomach churning as if she wanted to vomit. Yet, strangely, that alluring taste still lingered on her tongue. "Human flesh. That's why I became young again. And if you want to, I can arrange a portion for you every week. But I just ate her flesh. You want to be young and beautiful. You have to accept it. Do you understand?" Miss Lena sat there, her heart feeling shattered between desire and disgust. Her husband's words from that evening echoed in her mind like a knife piercing her pride. Miss Lena stood up, her voice trembling. I will transfer the payment for the portion today." Mr. Leo smiled enigmatically, saying nothing more. Miss Lena turned and walked away, her high heels clattering on the spiral staircase in the dark. As she reached the clinic door, she practically ran out, taking a deep breath, trying to dispel the suffocating feeling in her heart. A chaotic wave of revulsion and yearning crashed. "I just ate human flesh. Oh my God," she mumbled, her voice choked, her trembling hand rising to her mouth as if to try and pull it all out. But her stomach didn't react. Only the rich, warm aftertaste still lingered on her tongue. She gritted her teeth, raised her head, her eyes resolute. Beauty comes at a price. Nothing in this world is free. Whatever, as long as I'm beautiful, I'll do anything. She started the car, which sped towards the busy intersection. When the car stopped at the red light, Miss Lena still couldn't shake the restlessness in her heart. She remembered Mr. Leo's words as she left the clinic. To maintain your beauty, you must be consistent. Just 1 meal a week is enough, but you absolutely must not skip it. If you interrupt it, your body will react negatively, and the consequences will be severe. Those words, repeated in her mind like a magical incantation. Without hesitation, Miss Pao, Lena pulled her phone from her purse, her hand trembling slightly as she opened her contacts, and found Mr. Leo's number again. The red light had 20 seconds left. She pressed the call button. After 2 rings, Mr. Leo's deep voice answered. "Hello, this is Lena. I want to book the soup for next week. On the 5th, at 9 a.m. Understood. I'll arrange it for you." The call ended just as the green light came on. She placed her phone back on the passenger seat, stepped on the accelerator, and the car sped off into the morning traffic. 3 days later, the chirping of birds outside the window didn't wake Miss Lena as much as a strange sensation on her face. As the soft morning sunlight streamed into her luxurious bedroom, she slowly opened her eyes, feeling her incredibly smooth, delicate skin. She sat up abruptly, rushed to her dressing table, and was stunned into silence for a few seconds. In the mirror was a youthful woman, her face radiant as if she had just stepped into her 30s. No wrinkles, no crow's feet. Her skin was taut, glowing, her eyes sparkling, her lips soft, her black hair flowing over her shoulders. She looked even more beautiful than when she was a provincial beauty queen. Her heart pounded, a mix of excitement, confusion, and extreme joy. She frantically grabbed her phone and immediately called Mr. Leo. "Hello? Hello? This is Lena, Mr. Leo. I see myself in the mirror. I can't believe it. I look like I'm 20 again. Even better than when I competed in the provincial beauty pageant." "I know. I predicted you would call today. Why the surprise? How could it be so fast? Your body is very compatible. Not everyone has such a strong reaction. Some people take 2 months to see clear results. But for you, it's only been 3 days. It could also be that your desire to be young again was so strong that your absorption exceeded expectations. So, will it last long?" Mr. Leo's voice deepened, seeming to know she would ask. "I guarantee once a month. Forget about once a week. But don't postpone. The faster the absorption, the quicker the reaction if you stop." Miss Lena gasped, clutching the phone tightly, but her eyes never left her youthful face in the mirror. "The price is terrifying, but it's something I won't forget." "Good. Take care of me, and my youth will stay in my hands." The call ended. Miss Lena put down the phone and smiled. After bathing and dressing in an elegant cream-colored outfit, Miss Lena walked downstairs with a completely transformed demeanor. The morning sunlight, piercing through the thin curtains, illuminated her flawless face, making her look like a movie star stepping out of a film. Mr. Lucas, her husband, was sitting reading the newspaper. He looked up at her, stunned. "My goodness, what did you do to look so young? You look like a 20-year-old. Did you go to a new aesthetics clinic?" "Miss Bay." Lena smiled, trying to conceal the triumph in her eyes. "Maybe it's just that I slept well today and used my skincare regularly. But there's no way it could be as taut as that new receptionist's skin who started last month. That's strange." Miss Lena gently patted her hair, trying to maintain her composure, though her heart was bursting with excitement. "Really? I also noticed my skin looked a bit different this morning. It must be a new cosmetic product." Upon arriving at the company, not only Mr. Lucas, but all the staff in the office were stunned. The secretary whispered to a colleague, "Oh my God, which aesthetics clinic did she go to? She looks absolutely divine. Look at her. Who would have thought our CEO is only 30? A male employee passing by almost bumped into a glass door, staring at the female CEO. Curious, admiring glances followed Miss Lena. She walked into the elevator with her head held high, a faint smile on her lips, but inside, a wave of pride swelled. After years of being eroded by time, she had regained the precious power of a woman. Later, in her luxurious bedroom, filled with the scent of lavender essential oil. Miss Lena lay beside her husband, falling asleep with a sense of security in her smooth skin. But her peaceful sleep didn't last long. In her dream, she found herself in a dark room, surrounded by whispers and moans like wind blowing through hell. Suddenly, from beneath the floor, human hands rose up, withered and wrinkled, some covered in blood. They reached out as if to cling and claw at her face. "Give us back our flesh. Give it back. You evil woman. You ate our blood and flesh. Aren't you afraid?" One hand grasped her hair, pulling her face closer, dirty fingernails digging into her revived skin. Miss Lena jolted awake in a panic. She sat up in the dark. Mr. Lucas also sat up, startled. "What's wrong, honey? What kind of dream did you have?" Miss Lena gasped for breath, sweat trickling down her neck, her nightgown soaked. She touched her face. Her skin still felt smooth, flawless. But her heart pounded with an enduring fear. "Nothing. I just had a nightmare." Mr. Lucas stroked his wife's head, his voice softening. "You must be too stressed these days. Maybe you should see a doctor tomorrow." Miss Lena nodded distractedly, but her heart still reeled. The faint moans, the sound of fingernails scratching her skin, and the accusation still echoed in her ears. Yet she looked at her reflection in the bedside mirror, the undeniable proof of her youthful face, and reassured herself. It was just a dream. It's nothing. I'm just too imaginative. And she closed her eyes, forcing herself back to sleep, to forget the vengeful spirits. On the scheduled day, Miss Lena dressed meticulously, applied a light perfume, and drove to the aesthetics clinic. Mr. Leo, as always, greeted her with a calm demeanor, leading her down to the secret basement. A steaming bowl of soup, with its tantalizing aroma, was waiting. Miss Lena had grown accustomed to the taste, no longer hesitant or disgusted. She drank the soup calmly, even discerning the soft texture of the meat and the way the mushrooms melted in her mouth. She asked no questions, simply paid and left, her heart light, knowing she could maintain her youth. 3 months passed like a beautiful dream. Miss Lena became more radiant than ever. Women her age were envious. Men were captivated. But beneath the outward glamour, a subtle instability began to smolder within her. At first, there were fleeting headaches, which she attributed to work stress. But then they became more frequent, a throbbing pain in her temples. And when they intensified to the point of making her dizzy, forcing her to lean on a table, cold sweat running down her back. Soon, Miss Lena could no longer sleep peacefully. Endless, strange nightmares tormented her. Bloodied faces, screams and calls from beneath the earth plagued her sleep. She would wake up, her heart racing, soaked in sweat, as if she had just escaped a storm. What further unnerved her were the hallucinations in the mirror. Many times, while doing her makeup, she would catch a glimpse of a distorted reflection, not herself, but a woman with a scarred, pale face, a sneer on her lips, staring at her intently. Each time she blinked, the image vanished, leaving Miss Lena gasping for breath, her heart pounding like a drum. She began to hide these symptoms from everyone. She was terrified, but also deeply conflicted. She didn't want to leave it behind. She couldn't. She sat alone in her office, clutching her forehead, feeling waves of throbbing pain. The desk lamp cast light on her face. Still beautiful, still smooth, but her eyes were gradually becoming empty, as if something within her was no longer human. Another terrifying night. The luxurious villa was enveloped in silence. No sound of the air conditioning, no rustle of wind. All sound seemed to be sucked away, leaving only the ticking of the clock in the living room. Miss L. Lena lay awake, alone in her large bed. Mr. Lucas was away on a business trip, leaving the house cold and empty. She fell asleep, only to be plunged into a horrific nightmare. From the darkness of her dream, countless vengeful spirits rose from the floor. Their bodies were tattered, covered in blood and festering sores, their eyes pale white, their mouths agape. They crawled on the tiled floor like resurrected corpses. Blood trailed from their bodies. Their voices, synchronized and wailing, echoed like wind whistling through a deep grave. "Give us back our flesh! Give us back our bodies!" A cold hand grabbed her leg. A female spirit, half of her face missing, her mouth torn open, blood dripping, pulled Miss Lena's nightgown up. On her skin were crimson claw marks. Miss Lena jolted awake in terror. She sat up in bed. When she opened her eyes, she felt no relief. Instead, she immediately smelled a horrific, pungent odor in the room. It was the smell of fresh blood. The dim bedside lamp shone down on the pillow next to her. There, a bloody handprint was deeply stained on the white fabric. Her soft blanket also had fresh, damp bloodstains. Miss Lena screamed, fumbling for the light switch. "Ow!" But the horror didn't stop there. Before her eyes, the vengeful spirits from her dream appeared in real life. Their monstrous forms clung to her, approaching her with their sharp, bloody claws. "Give us back our flesh!" Miss Lena shrieked, frantically striking and smashing everything around her. The bedside lamp, the picture frames, the cups, all shattered. She ran around the house like a madwoman, ripping open closets, tossing furniture, desperately searching for a place to hide from the ghosts swarming around her. Screams echoed on the glass on the walls. The pungent smell of blood filled the entire space. Her terrifying fear turned into stone. In a dark corner, the mirror automatically lit up. Reflected in it was not Miss Tartan or Lena, but the image of a beautiful young corpse, but with empty eyes and a blood-stained mouth. That entire night, Miss Lena did not sleep a wink. She had locked all the windows, turned off the lights, and huddled under her blankets like a child. Yet, she still heard faint whispers all over the house, as if someone was groaning in her bedroom. Her eyes were sunken and bloodshot, her skin pale, her hair disheveled from panic. Miss Lena sat frozen on the sofa in the living room, trembling, clutching her phone. She scrolled through her contacts for a moment, then dialed the number of a friend, Miss Teresa, CEO of a well-known construction company. "Hello, Teresa. Do you still remember Master David? Please tell me where to find him. I want to seek his guidance for peace in my family." On the other end, Miss Teresa was surprised by Miss Lena's voice, so different from her usual confident and sharp tone, now full of exhaustion and trembling. But she gently replied, "You just reminded me. Lately, I've been visiting Vanana Pagoda in District 2 to meet Master David. He's a long-time monk, very wise, and has helped many people. He's not widely famous, but everyone in the business community trusts him deeply. I'll send you the address." Hearing this, Miss Lena felt a sense of relief. Although she dared not reveal the truth that she had eaten human flesh soup, in her heart she began to connect the strange occurrences lately with that unholy soup. "Thank you so much, Teresa." She hung up, staring intently at her phone, then took a deep breath. In her heart, she silently told herself, "I must see this monk as soon as possible. If I hesitate any longer, who knows what other horrible things will happen." A few minutes later, Miss Teresa's message arrived. "Vannan Pagoda, 1089, Truck Lamb Street, Bin and Ward, District 2. See Master David, Mr. Lena saved the address, changed clothes, tidied her makeup, then drove out of the villa, heading straight for the pagoda. As she stepped through the gate of Van and Pagoda, Lena felt a cool, refreshing breeze, unlike the oppressive midday heat of Saigon. The pagoda wasn't large, but was unusually quiet. The rustling of ancient banyan trees, the sound of temple bells, and the faint scent of incense stirred her heart. A young acolyte led her to a house behind the main hall where Master David was meditating. The monk, over 60, was slender, with piercing, serene, and solemn eyes. Seeing Miss Lena approach, the monk opened his eyes, looked at her for a long moment, then let out a soft sigh. "The aura around you is very heavy," the monk said in a low, deep voice. "The murderous energy of vengeful spirits surrounds you. Perhaps you have meddled with things against the Tao." Miss Lena flinched, standing silent, not daring to speak. The monk closed his eyes, his hand turning prayer beads, then slowly continued. "Your karma is very heavy. It cannot be easily undone. Some things in this world, once they cross the boundaries of human morality, cannot be saved by anyone. Only you can truly repent, change your heart, and change your life. I cannot help you in the way you wish, but there is still a path for you. But you must immediately stop the evil deeds you are committing. Abandon everything that goes against heavenly principles. Start doing good deeds from the heart. Accumulate blessings and merit to compensate somewhat for your karmic burden. Furthermore, you must organize a ceremony to pray for the souls of those wronged spirits. Recite sutras and dedicate the merits to them." Miss Lena clenched her trembling hands, bowing her head. "Master, I know I was wrong. Please give me a chance. Please help me, Master." Master David nodded. "There is always a chance if one's heart is truly good. But if you continue to hide, continue to be greedy and evil, then even 10 masters cannot save you." He took a piece of paper and hand-wrote a few lines of sutra, telling her to recite them every night. He also instructed her to prepare for a soul-praying ceremony, which could be held at the pagoda, reciting sutras all night to dedicate merits. But remember, From now on, how you live will determine the retribution you face. On the way back from the pagoda, Miss Lena clutched the paper of sutras to her chest, her mind a turmoil of regret and fear. After Master David's guidance, Miss Lena felt enlightened for the first time in many months. After being immersed in the darkness of beauty and nightmares, she felt her heart contract. The monk's words echoed in her mind like a warning bell. If you continue to be greedy and evil, then even 10 masters cannot save you. She walked out of the pagoda gate, not returning home, but driving directly to Hoa An Dao Aesthetics Clinic, where everything had begun. It was just past 8 a.m. The sun was gentle, but her heart was icy cold. As her car turned into the familiar alley, she suddenly noticed that the entire aesthetics clinic had been cordoned off. The main gate was taped with yellow and black police lines. A large red sealed sign was plastered on the front door, clearly stating, "Premises suspended for operation pending investigation." Inside, police officers and forensic personnel were moving in and out, and an ambulance was parked nearby. Several residents stood around, clustered together, discussing animatedly. Miss Lena didn't dare to get out of her car, just sat there, frozen. An old woman selling drinks nearby saw Miss Lena lower her window and called out, "Oh my God, it's horrifying, dear. I heard they found several human bodies and a pile of bones in the basement. They even say that the clinic owner is a fugitive who was wanted for multiple murders 5 years ago in a mountain province. Now, who knows how he changed his face to continue his criminal acts? Oh, my heavens! Who would have thought such a luxurious aesthetics clinic would be involved in such gruesome deeds?" Miss Lena's face was drained of all color, blood seemingly drawn from it. Her hands gripped the steering wheel, trembling uncontrollably. No one knew she was a very special client of Mr. Leo. No one knew she had drunk that youth-enhancing soup. She pressed the accelerator. The car drove away silently. In the rearview mirror, the sealed sign gradually faded into the distance. But the scars in her heart would not be easily erased. That evening, Mr. Lucas returned from his business trip. He looked somewhat cheerful, carrying a bag of takeout food. "Honey, I bought some hot pot. Let's eat together. I finished work early today." Miss Lena forced a smile, her heart still pounding from what she had witnessed that morning. Despite trying to act normal, her hands still trembled slightly as she picked up her chopsticks. A faint, lingering smell somewhere made her feel nauseous. Mr. Lucas turned on the TV and cheerfully set up the hot pot. "There's the news on. I wonder what happened. Oh, this place looks familiar." Just then, a special news report flashed across the screen. The female newscaster's voice was calm and cold as ice. "A shocking case has just been uncovered at Hoa An Dao Aesthetics Clinic in District 10 Doi. Investigators confirm that the clinic used human bodies and organs to produce beauty products, including rejuvenation soup, masks, and cosmetics. Specifically, the placenta advertised as imported premium sheep placenta was in fact human placenta. Police discovered a secret body preservation room underground. Inside were dozens of glass jars containing fetuses, minced flesh, and internal organs. The case is being expanded, as it is believed to be linked to an international human trafficking ring and illegal activities. The chopstick slipped from Miss Lena's hand, clattering, into the hot pot. Mr. Lucas's mouth fell open. He turned to look at her. My God, isn't this the place you used to go for beauty treatments? The Howard Andow Aesthetics Clinic? Did you ever go there, Lena? Miss B. Lena froze, her face chalk white, her heart pounding like a drum. The scene before her eyes now only made her feel nauseous, her nose burning. She didn't answer, just forced a smile. It must be a coincidence of names. I've never been there before, but in her heart, she knew exactly what it was. In the days that followed, as the source of her rejuvenation medicine was abruptly cut off, Lena's body was rapidly dragged back into darkness, but faster and more intensely than any natural process. Dark spots appeared on her skin overnight. The blemishes spread like ink stains. The taut, glowing skin was now wrinkled and dry like sandpaper. Large clumps of hair fell out, filling the sink. Her scalp was pale, speckled with dark spots. She tried to hide it with thick makeup, but it caked on her new wrinkles, only emphasizing the horror. At night, looking in the mirror, her face was disfigured, swollen, bruised eyes, hollow cheeks, her jawline sagging as if about to melt. She tried swallowing collagen, injecting expensive vitamins, and transferring plasma, but all were useless. The price she had to pay for that fleeting beauty was now clearly apparent. Her youth vanished, replaced by an accelerated, intense decay. After long weeks, Miss Lena screamed and cried through the nights, her cries like desperate wails from her very soul. I held a memorial service for you all. I burned offerings. I offered food and incense. Why won't you leave me alone? Mr. Lucas, once a loving husband, gradually descended into a state of panic and alienation from his wife. At first, it was insomnia from her screaming at night. Then, the horror of seeing his wife sitting hunched over, crying, muttering, clawing at her face, her fingernails bloody, her eyes staring into space as if someone was approaching. Day by day, the house became heavier, colder, even with the heaters on. The faint scent of incense, the flickering lights, the dog barking in the middle of the night. One evening at dinner, Mr. Lucas said, Lena, I can't take this anymore. I think you should see a psychiatrist. You need treatment, not just offerings. Then Mr. Lucas left. One morning, he packed his suitcase without a word, leaving only a note. I'm sorry. I don't have the courage to stay. You need to face this alone. I no longer recognize you. Miss Lena's company gradually declined as she was left to bear the burden alone. It was late at night. The 6th floor of Miss Lena's luxurious villa was bathed in dim light filtering through the windows. The quiet, empty house suddenly echoed with strange sounds, causing chills to run down everyone's spines. Whispers of lament, sounds like hell opening its gates, and the incessant cries of women echoed in the night. Some neighbors thought it was the TV, while others suspected ghosts. But then everyone closed their doors tightly. No one dared to look. The next morning, the housekeeper arrived as usual, but the door was unlocked. She called out repeatedly, but heard no reply. A sense of unease creeping in, she stepped inside and screamed, causing the neighborhood security guards to rush over. In the bathroom, Lena was found dead in the bathtub. The water dyed red like blood, thick with a metallic odor. Around the tub were claw marks, blood smeared on the walls. Half of the bathroom mirror was shattered, and in it still lingered the faint reflection of a person. Miss Lena's death was a horrifying sight. Half of her face was taut and radiant, like an 18-year-old girl, her lips still pink, her eyebrows arched, her skin like silk. The other half was pale white, her flesh torn as if someone had gnawed at it piece by piece, revealing hollow eye sockets and jawbone. No one understood what happened in the house. There were no signs of forced entry. The doors were locked from the inside, and the indoor cameras were completely off from 2 a.m., coinciding with the time neighbors heard screams. The news spread. Newspapers once again reported the story, causing widespread panic. Authorities also became involved to investigate Miss Lena's unnatural death. The woman who once inspired admiration for her youthful beauty in middle age had died with a face that was half human, half ghost. No one knew how many vengeful spirits Miss Lena had consumed in her struggle. So perhaps in the end, those souls had reclaimed every piece of flesh, every drop of blood she had stolen. Medicine. No. In the